Hello, good morning and welcome back. This is Kata from CaterGraphix. Today we will be making brief explanation of series of issues you guys are having recently. First one is pagination in design layouts. If you don't know what that's about, let's get in here. You see the books here is sent by Sign Media. Sign Media, you're having issues with understanding on how this was paginated. Okay, so now we are going to treat that today, and I'm going to make you understand everything that's happened here. So that's number one. Number two, we're going to deal with Instagram issues. Some of you don't know how to publish your works on Instagram. You're making some of your work get into the other part of the post shape. So if you're using a square, some of you use images which are not relevant to that concept. The third and final one is the vote for gradient use. So we'll be dealing with that today. These are stuff we'll be dealing with. I have my gradients ready here and I'm going to send it to you guys at the end of this tutorial. So number one, let's just get in without wasting much time. The Sign Media, your request is for you have done this request for a series of time, and I think I had to approve and include it in this tutorial. I plan including multiple tutorials and reviews on one particular tutorial, okay, so that I will learn how to be short and fast instead of preparing just one tutorial at once. So from now henceforth, you'll be getting multiple tutorials in one publish. So Sign Media, your issue is pagination. You don't know how to align your pages on your work. So for this, I am practically going to use the most difficult work you sent. I'm looking for the most difficult one, so I will teach you from there so you understand. I don't know, I don't think this is difficult. I don't think this is difficult. I don't think, okay, I think these are difficult. I think these are difficult. Let's use this, okay? Let's use the most difficult one so you understand what's going on in every aspect of that. So we are going to create a new layout. For this, we are going to use the print. And for the print, we are going to use the A4 British standards. So create our page and let's import our image so we can see exactly what's going on. That image is showing an error. If your image is showing an error, what you're going to do, you could import it to Photoshop. Then from Photoshop, click enter. Then from Photoshop, you can drag it into Illustrator and it will work perfectly. Okay, see the trick? So when you're having issues, import here and then move from the other. So we are going to keep it by the side while we work with it. So first thing you have to understand is, how do I prepare this text to align accordingly without having effect with the others? So let me assume this is a full-blown page. Okay, so first thing you have to do is to pick your text tool. Is over here. I think to zoom is alternative Z. Okay, it's over here. It's been a long time I made tutorial, so it's over here. So what next you do is what am I doing? Okay, so what next? Oh, I made a mistake. Sorry about that. So what next you do is you pick on your text tool. The next thing you do, what we are going to create for now is let's choose the particular one we want to create now, so we can move to the order. So let's create this layout over here. Okay, let me zoom closely so you can see. So we're going to create this layout over here. I'm talking about the text, not the image yet. Okay, so now what you're going to do is use your text tool to drag within the area you want to make the text formats. So we drag on this part and let it go. Okay, now what you do, you copy all your text and place them inside of this place. Okay, copy all your text, place them inside of this angle, this layout. Okay, this particular layout, place them in there. Let me adjust it a little more bit. I think this is getting a little more thicker than what we have in the other. So now when you adjust it to this angle, see what is going on there. The red let me show you what that means. Let me type B. This is a wrong spelling. You see, the function of this under here is to correct you. This is only for people who are doing much of typing in their work, probably pitch design, business planning, PDF files, and so on and so forth. So to enable it, you go to edit and click on spelling auto check. Auto check will automatically, when you click on text, click on the center, click option, it's going to give you the perfect spelling which you are supposed to use. So click on the perfect spelling, automatically it corrects the spelling. Okay, so that's what this sign beneath here means. So I'm going to disable it now since I've taught you exactly what it is. So you know what you're typing, you disable it, but if you know you're going to make some mistakes somewhere, you enable it. Now sometimes it can, anyway, let me not talk much about that. Let's not waste much of our time. So now I told you guys, don't always use dark, always use gray. Okay, unless you are printing this, you can use just black. But if it's just for export, for some kind of uses, you can just use gray. It makes the design looks cool. So for the best practice, let's use Poppins. Poppins is the best font you're supposed to use for typing. Then the spacing should be at least 5 is okay, I think, or 10. Let's use 10, spacing 10. Okay, so people can see clearly what's going on. So we have created the number 1. Remember, we are still creating this one over here. So number 2 beneath, we are going to create that one. To do that, also, okay, I never taught you something in this. So when you click on this with the selection tool, click on and edit with the selection tool, you can actually expand it and see other text inside of it. And when you reduce it, some text will get lost based on the reduction space. So if you know that you're going to reduce like this and you want to move some of the text beneath it to the other layer, what you're going to do is you duplicate this, hold your Alt key and drag out. When you duplicate it, what you're going to do here is expand this one, okay, and get to the bottom. Now select from the part this one ended. Let me say, for instance, this part ended here. Select all of them and delete them. Then we can continue, can detach it, and then we can continue. You see how I did that? But if you contrast it from here, if you adjust it from here, you're going to lose some text. And in case you didn't understand what went on, just click on the selection tool and expand to see all full text you pasted here. Because sometimes you might create a layout. For instance, I created this layout and pasted a new text. Let me take, for instance, I copied every text that is here. Okay, you can't just copy like that. Control C to copy. So I created a new layout. I want to paste this text inside of this layout. I say Control V, sorry. I mean Control C. Then I come here, I click Control V. You see, it is the same text that is here that is pasted here, but some are lost. So in case of that, you pasted a new text on a layout, then expand it to see the rest of the text. Okay, with that being understood, let's get back to what we are doing. So we've created this layout. We can create another layout from this one. Very easy to do. Drag it out to drag. Then you can adjust it from here. Okay, you can adjust it from here. You can also drag another one out. Place it here. You can adjust this one from this angle and also leave it here. So this is practically how these stuffs are being created. Okay, it's practically how these stuffs are being created. It's very easy. You can now adjust the width. If you don't want this to be too close to this, adjust it the more. The same you can do to this, and the same you can do to this. So that have quite explained that issue. And your other issue is how images are aligned. Okay, how images are aligned. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to place an image above here and we are going to work with that. So let's move an image in here. Okay, move an image too large. Then what you're going to do is to reduce it to match, then pull it to the angle you want it to be. Okay, pull it to the angle you want it to be. Okay, so now for instance, if this image is wider than our angle, probably it is a horizontal image, and you understand it won't match this part aspect. What do you do? So this is where you apply a trick of clip masking. Okay, now what you do, you use your rectangular tool over here, and simply draw within the angle or range with which you want this to cover only. Okay, for me, I want it to cover from the beginning of this text to the end of this text. So I draw it up till wherever I want it to cover to. So this way I want it to cover, I allow it. Okay, what next you do now is to take this image and center it to this square you have created. Remember, before you make a clip mask, make sure the image is beneath the shape you just created. So select the both of them, then click option, then click on make clip mask. Because automatically this becomes inside here. So if you want to adjust this image to shift it to make it match perfectly, you can go to your layer over here, open it and open that clip mask and select only the image inside here by clicking this blue button here. Select only that image. Now you can now adjust your image according to the shape you want. I hope that explains that. Another thing I want to let you know, you can also work on the shapes of this image. For instance, I want to adjust this part like what we got here, like what we have in this part now. Okay, what we have here. Let me zoom closely so you see. See stuff's going on in this image. That is what I'm teaching you right now. So that's how to get it here. I draw that line over there, and also I can do the same. Direct selection tool before you select. I can do the same to this other image too. So this other image I can also pick on the selection tool and click on this part and adjust it to my shape. Okay, this is just how to get this. You can also select everything and select this part to curve it as you want. Okay, you don't want to curve some parts, select some parts by clicking, hold the shift, click the part you want to curve. When you click on the selection tool, select everything, then click on the direct selection tool, then hold your shift key, click on the point, anchor point, the anchor point that you want. I click on this and I click on the bottom one over here. Then I can curve it to the shape I want. You understand? That's the two shapes to create in Illustrator. It's very simple. To create this particular one over here is also the same way. You can just rotate it and now start curving around the two. So that's how to create an image there. The last thing I want to teach you before I go into examples I have for you is how to place text like this before an image, before around a text. I mean the bold text over here around the text. It's very simple to do. So first of all, we create our text. We create E, and here we are going to use Poppins, the bold one. Okay, Poppins, the bold one. Let's keep it aside. Let's drag our text out. So this is the text we are about to use here. So what do we do here? There are two ways to achieve this. One of which is to space out all texts from the angle where you want to place your okay, let's delete this. So space it out from the angle where you want to place your stuff. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, very good. It's automatically aligning to the left. Okay, so for this we are going to make everything centered. We're going to make everything centered, and I'm going to teach you how to make everything centered but still align your text to work perfectly as if it is a block. Okay, it's very simple to do. So what you're going to do first is close every angle that is okay. We are going to use this for this. Close every angle that is blocked. Then now you can let's create another text field. I'm going to show you with that particular instance. Okay, so now we spaced out. I'll tell you the issue we are having or we had in the previous one. The issue we had in the previous one because we do not have enough space to accommodate the text that we are spacing. So make sure you create enough space, then you can now space out things you want to space out. So when we space out this first one, automatically it goes to the second one. You understand what's going on there? When you space out the first one, automatically it gets to the second one. So you practically can't space out the second one because of the alignment format. You can only space out from this other angle. See? So when we delete from this other angle, automatically we are spacing out stops from the other back end. You understand what is going on there? So it's not possible to space out stops unless from the first level of the image. So that takes us to the second format or second way to do it, which makes the first way null. We can't use the first format at all. So the next or second way to do this is to create your format, then create another format above it. Create a second format above it, but from this other angle. Make sure it's maintaining the same spacing between the text. Okay, so bring it down to maintain the same spacing, and make sure that this text you're using here continues from this second layout, like I taught you in the other one. Okay, so now we can import our E to be in the beginning here. And when you use this E, practically is because you are using this E for letters like in the beginning, you can say NATER. So it is like you are saying enter, ipuzum, dorum, sit, emet. So this is practically how to get that in, we should also change this to gray. I love gray. In Illustrator, this is how to achieve this particular one over here. Okay, for the background, you know how to place image by the background and do all those tweaking. So that's how to practically do stuff like that. I think this best explained everything you needed to know in this tutorial. Okay, if there is any other one that is making you misunderstand, like let's go back to your WhatsApp and see some other ones. These other ones are very simple, you can do them. And the heading, I never told you about the heading. In case you want to have a heading here, you can still create a heading. Make sure you point it from this angle. Then we say, for instance, this is our heading. Select everything. We are going to select the font Nexa bold. Okay, let's use prime time. So we use prime time for this heading. We remove some stuffs to make it look more significant. So select on our tool to expand it. Sorry about that. Trying to be fast and at the same time making mistakes. So we select everything. We can increase our font size. You understand this, how to make your heading. I mean the H1. So you can also expand it from here and so on. So we have our heading, we have our startup, and this is how to prepare it. And your other question is, how do we make a page in front and also a page in the back? Like as they did here, to tell the printer this is number 1 page, this is number 2 page. I have 3 instances for you. Number 1 is the branding instance I did. So let's zoom closely so we see how pagination are done. So for instance, this is the page 1 and 2. You can signify it here. You tell the printer this page 1 and page 2, or this page 1 front and back. So you can signify it here, front and back. Then the page 2, you do the same thing, this page 2. Page 3, you do the same thing, this page 3. Simple way to align things and make it very clean. I'll show you that from the next tutorial. So now to export this is very simple. You either export everything as PDF by holding Ctrl and Alt and save. Click on this option, save as PDF. You name it whatever you want, name it and save it in your desktop and export it to them. That's number 1 way to do it. Number 2 way to do it is to save it separately. Okay, so to do that is to create, in case the person is getting a little bit confused, the printer is a little bit confused, you can't extract this or don't have Illustrator. So to save it as PDF single files, what you're going to do is to create another layout that have this same size. Okay, create another layout that have exactly the same size. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, you already know this A5. So you create an A5 layout. What we did before was A5. So printing, we say we are dealing with letters in A4. So we create our A4. Let's take, for instance, let me shrink this to make you understand what I'm doing from the other one I show you. So this is the size of the branding I did here for this brand. So what I do, I drag it and push it into that particular place. Move it to the head and expand it to get to the end here. Okay, once you get to the end, this extra space here, what you are going to do to it, you pick your artboard tool and decrease it to work perfectly with what you have there. Okay, so by so doing, click option and save this as PDF. He can print it. All printers can print in PDF. So export this as PDF, they will grab it and do the printing. So you can now say, if you export this, you call it front. Okay, you call it number 1. Export number 2, you call it number 2. Export number 3, call it number 3, because page is counted by numbers. So the front and back, make it separately. You call this front, you call the other one back. So that's how to do that. So now moving on to the next example I have for you here. See this particular one. When you are doing design of many pages, you might come into conflict of you don't understand how to align this to be in a straight line. To align all these things to be in a straight line, just go to your artboard. And I don't have artboard here. Go to Windows and make sure you enable the artboard. So when you enable artboard, it will appear like this inside of this panel. So click on this little rearrange button. Then here, click on this center one, this particular one here. Now the row, I don't want it to be 6. I want the row to be 1. And I don't want any much spacing. Click on OK. Automatically this will align everything in this row to become 1. You see it, align it to become 1. So we are editing or designing from this angle to this angle. But what if we want it to be straight? What you are going to do, go to that particular one, click on this one over here, make it 1. Okay, let's click on this particular one over here. Or this one still. Let's make this 1 and C. Oh, they want it to be 2. Spacing and so on. Layout order. So you see it have 2 on a row. So with this, it is very easy for you to now start doing your editing. Okay, it's easy for you to do. You can say this page 1, this page 2, this page 3, this page 4, this page 5, this page 6, and that's how it goes. So you see how things are aligned here. Very simple. You write your heading, you write your text. You can just put up some stuff to make the thing look very realistic and lively. Some images can work too. I taught you how to prepare or drop images there. Can use iconography, works very well, preparing stuff like that. So the last example I have for you, this is going to 23 minutes, is Jenny. Okay, this also another one. It's a book, also a company business plan. So you see what's going on there. See what's going on there. It's very simple to do. It's very simple to do. So you can still align all these things. See the image alignment of this one, what I showed you in the previous one. This is just how to do these stuffs. This, you see how I align these images? There are separate images that are nested inside. Look at that particular one we used, nested inside of clip mask. Okay, very simple to do. So I think that answers all your questions. So we move into the next tutorial for today, which is the Instagram issue you guys are having. So that one I'll be using Photoshop for this tutorial. So let's create a new artboard in Photoshop. We call this 2000 times 2000. Some of you who are making, and this fixed the issues of some of you who, after preparing works, export it to what they call it, Instagram, it reduces the quality. Okay, you see, this one fixed the issue. When you are creating, make sure your design goes from 2000 width and above. Okay, if you make it 1000 and you import an image of poor resolution, it's going to affect it. So let it be 2000 pixel, 2000 height, and 300 resolution. 300 resolution. CMYK, I said no, I want it to be RGB. Okay, RGB, clean color, it gives you the real color which you are using. So let's create. This solves the problem of that particular one. So let's create now. So most of you are putting images, you put logo that are not supposed to be, you put logo and logos are extended to the other parts. There are different kinds of logo. Let me use Pablo Design as an example to this. Let me use Pablo Design as an example to this. Where is Pablo Design? Pablo, where are you? Okay, we have Pablo Design here. So now we have Pablo Design in this format. So we import this particular one. When you import this logo, some of you look at what you do. You do something like this. Okay, not actually that you do something like this. Let me show you what you do. You have something like this, perfect, but you are preparing it on a layout that Instagram doesn't support. Instagram supports only square layout. Okay, the square layout must be like 2000 times 2000, 1000 times 1500 times 500, not 1000 times 500. If you're making 1000 times 500, look at what you're going to achieve. Look at what you're going to achieve. Something like this. You see it? So now, let me take for instance, this is the logo. It's cool, okay? It works for Facebook. But when you post this on Instagram, look at the space it's going to take. It's going to take a space like this. You see? It's going to take a space like this, and your other designs are going to get lost. Let me show you how that is possible. Let me show you how that is possible and how your other space is going to get lost. Let's create a clip mask. You see it? So this is what is happening to your image. So let me make this background black so that you see exactly what you are doing. So see, this is what's happening to your image. If we remove this, if you see what's going on here, because the image now is being squared. Previously, if we say let's remove this release clip mask, you see the image is extended to the extreme, but when you put it on Instagram, it takes only the square. So to avoid that problem, make sure all your images are in a square like this. You can don't even make your image to get to the extreme. Make it to be small. The smaller it is, the more cute your design looks. Okay, make it get to the extreme, like so is beautiful. Okay, whenever you're posting, make sure your image is like this. So now, why I made this as an instance is this. Some people, let me take for instance, let me duplicate this out. I duplicate and remove this. Some of you have images like this. Let me take for instance, we have only the logo icon. You can expand it like so and put it in the middle. Make sure it's in the middle. Okay, it's in the middle now. Okay, this is okay too. This is okay too. But when you have the icon and you want it to compete with the logo size which you have in the previous one, you're going to have a problem. So we are trying to compete with this particular one, and you see that we lost our test and everything is looking so stupid. So to fix this, make sure everything is centered inside of your layout. Okay, inside of your layout, everything is centered inside there. My battery is low now. So that is practically how to do that, and that's the fix for all of you on Instagram who don't know how to prepare their works and place it in the middle. So finally, we are going to do the gradient, which is the main focus of this tutorial. Okay, that's the main focus of this tutorial. I'm going to delete all these things so I teach you guys gradient from scratch. So I'm going to import my best gradient. I'm going to send you guys all of my gradients so that you guys can find it very easy to use. But before sending you guys my gradient, I'm also going to teach you guys what and why the gradient works, how it works. So it won't be difficult for you guys to create gradient. And also I'm going to teach you guys we have to use this gradient or not. So first and foremost, we are going to create, I'm watching my time, we are going to create another shape here, black, and we're going to lock it with Ctrl 2 to lock. So we are back. So the gradient, let's focus more on it. My minutes was 30 and my record stopped. It usually stops at 30 minutes. So now let's go deal with these gradient issues. Some of you are having issues with gradients of gold and so on and so forth. First and foremost, what you have to understand here is what colors makes up a gold gradient and how to use it on your logos without affecting any aspect of it. So let's import a logo I designed previously. I think this particular one. So this logo here, we are going to import only this and this, only this and this particular one. So these two we are going to work with, and I'm going to show you example. I'm assuming this is a logo design. I'm going to show you how to use it. Dave, you said you don't know how to use gradients and it's a problem to you, and this is what we are going to fix today. So simple thing to do, if you already have the gradients, pick particular stuff you're going to work on and choose the eyedropper tool, which is over here, over here, very good. Now pick on the gradient tool which I sent to you. Automatically it applies there. Pick on the next one, it applies. Pick on the next one, it applies. Pick on the next one, it applies, and so on and so forth. Why is it called the gradient tool? Because it uses more than one color. So now let's take for instance we are working with this gold gradient, and the problem most of you have is this. If you want to draw a gradient, most of you draw from the angle of the design, probably from this. You see what you are getting? This is a very poor gradient usage. Okay, if you want to draw your gradient, make sure you draw from the outside of the icon, and I'll tell you why you have to do so. Now watch these points here, number 1 point and number 2 point. The 2 white points here signifies the places where these gradients are going to stop. Let me delete one gradient point and let's use just 2 for this. Let's use just 2 for this so you understand better. So you see how I point it? So this gradient tool, this point here, the white point at center, shows that this one ends here and this other one ends here. Okay, let me use red for this. Let me not use gold, let me use red. And for this red, let me even make the gradient more obvious than it is. Let me make it more obvious than it is. So we have that gradient there. So this point, it shows that this red stops at this point, and this one stops here, and this one stops here, and this one stops here. Okay, so whenever you are expanding a gradient of 3, make sure you drag from the outside. Okay, see that line inside? You see this line inside here? The line stroking here that is very noticeable. Don't make it noticeable. If you make your gradient noticeable, it will be very difficult for people to appreciate your work. So don't make it noticeable, make it expand. And the only way to make it expand is to drag from the outside. Okay, you see it is now becoming more cute and beautiful. So this is how I apply gradients on my work. So we select on this, select this particular gold, and let's remove that icon inside. Okay, let's apply a gradient to that icon inside. So now this gradient we applied inside, if we had made it like so, look at what's going to happen. You are going to notice exactly or almost exactly where this particular gradient stops, which is around this angle, which we don't want to notice. Okay, we don't want to notice that. See, you can notice that this gradient of gold started here. It's a bad practice of gradient usage. So that's why I said use it, drag from the outside, and if this is, you can also adjust this one to say, okay, this is where I want it to start and this is where I want it to end. So this is how I adjust my work and make sure it looks good. There is no rule to this. I told you guys, don't always use rules. Just practice. If it doesn't work for you, find another way to do it. But to use gradient, don't drag from the inside. Okay, always drag from the outside of it. So that's how to use gradient. So now let's get over to creating a gradient. It's very simple. Let's create a new a new box, and we fill this with a white color. So to create a gold gradient, we are going to understand what colors makes up this gold gradient. So we go here, we check. Number one, we try to find out what color makes that gradient. We can't find it here. So what we are going to do is pick it from this angle. Okay, so select on this CDB9 blah blah blah. We copy it. That's number one color, the dark aspect of the gold, and the bright aspect of the gold is what we are gonna find out. We still don't find it here. That's no problem at all. That's no problem at all. I'm gonna show you how to find colors even without you knowing the code. So let's go here and fix our color. So pick on this, and we don't want to use this, so let's remove it so that it's not that we are doing expo. So I don't want this to be gold. Let's make it just white so we can create our gradient perfectly. I'm making everything white. So now to pick gradients, select on, no, let's remove this. Select on this particular angle. Let's pick this yellow because it's mostly yellow that make up gradients. Okay, then we pick on the second angle and we pick a darker color of yellow. Okay, so probably we pick something like so. So we have something like so, but we are not satisfied because see what is going on there is not almost the same quality of gold that we're looking for. So what you are going to do here, you come here and reduce the quality here. Let's space this out. The quality of the color or the thickness of the color, you can reduce it here. So you can go here, reduce this particular one. See, we are achieving exactly what we wanted. This is exactly the gold color we are looking for. So expand this to this angle and drag this other one by holding your Alt key to this other angle. We have created a perfect gold. So let's apply this gold to this other part and see how it works. You see what is going on? Our gold is lost. Why? Because we need to expand. See where this thing is lost? If you expand something from the other angle, it's not going to apply to this unless you expand over it. You see? So you see, we created our gold without using any code, without using any hex code. We just used our head to create our gold. There are many formats of gold, like you can see. This is a different format of gold. You see, this is a different format of gold, and this actually is a different format of gold. So you just walk around the box, find the gold that works perfectly for your clients. And some clients don't like this gold. If I present this other gold for them, they like it so much. Okay, so that's also the other way to do red. Let's do red for this one. So we pick on red here. We pick on the same color of red here. To pick on the same color, just hold your Alt key and drag this one to this other angle. So the next thing we are going to do is click on the center one and find a lighter version of red. That's just how we created that. Okay, that's how we created this particular red over here. So the same goes to other colors. Let's try to create a pink gradient, but we are going to use only 2. We are not going to use 3. You can create 4, 5, 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. Okay, but this one we create pink, and we are not going to use much of that gradient. So we create pink. We choose the same pink, or we choose the lighter version of pink. You see? So you choosing a dark version and a lighter version, it gives you a gradient of a perfect choice. So we pick on this, we pick on this particular one, we have exactly what we want. So we can expand it or extend it to whatever style we want, from the back to the bottom, from the up to the down, and so on and so forth. Any angle you expand it to, you get the result you are looking for. So yeah, friends, that is it for this tutorial. I'll be sending you guys the gradient palette, all my gradient palettes to you guys in the group, and also my icons if possible. I'll be doing that if I remember. So that is it for this tutorial. I hope you guys understand everything that went on in this, and I wish to come up with something else tomorrow or next. Thank you guys for being here, and let's just call it a day. Oh, I forgot. Okay, one more tutorial, one last tutorial. Okay, this is how to update your Windows in case you installed Illustrator or Photoshop and it's telling you that your Windows version is outdated, that you should update, or telling you stuff like that, or fun install that the stuff can install on your Windows and you are using Windows 10. This is how to update without losing your files. So what you do, you go to Windows, and using Windows 10 it comes like this. So you go to Windows, go to settings, and now you go to updates. I think updates and security beneath here. Click on it and click on download. Okay, you see my update here, updates available because I'm connected to internet. Update available. Click on download and allow it. After downloading it, will ask you for installation permission. Just click on install and click yes to everything. It will install and update it to the latest version of this. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the version that is applicable 1909, and this is 2004 version for 2021. Okay, the 2004 version for 2021, and Debian version is or beta version is 1909. So this is just how to update it. Click on download. I don't want to update anything, and I disabled it. And if peradventure this is also an extra tutorial. If you are connected to your Wi-Fi and your device or your PC is sucking your data, this is how to stop it. Okay, this is how to stop it. Every time you connect, make sure you go to your network and internet, go to the Wi-Fi, then go to the Wi-Fi name, then enable this. You see it, make sure it is turned on. Set as metered connections. Metered connection will not allow updates to be using your data from your Wi-Fi to update the Windows operating system. So you can only do it manually like I showed you previously, but automatically it won't be able to do it anymore. So that is it for today. My name is Manuel, signing out from CaterGraphix. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section on YouTube. Don't do that on the group, okay? Thank you all and have a wonderful day.